Hi, Ivy. So I am thrilled as part of my guest interviews that we add within the Greenhouse membership to introduce you to someone that's a little bit different in regards to the way that she has stepped into the floristry industry and the gap that she's seen and how she's filling that with a really fantastic business side business, really probably now a main business, but this is introducing Merrin Firth. She has an wedding and events business called Mabel and Elsie that she started back in 2014 here in Sydney, and she's been a florist since 2009, I believe, in Vancouver Island, which I'm born in Canada, so I have a little connection there. But today I wanted to, well, other than all things floristry, I wanted to talk to Merrin today about I guess her vision and her mission behind the Florist Quarter. So welcome, Merrin. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here. Definitely. I guess the Florist Quarter, it's a bit of a beast. It started, really the idea started during COVID, as so many good ideas did.
Yep.
Obviously we all saw our weddings and events being pushed further and further back. And it's a purely selfish reason I started it. I wanted to know how I was going to find my freelancers. And it started as the idea as a freelancer directory. So we were going to have the jobs board and just have freelancers sign up. So it was going to be purely just for florists looking for their staff. And then it just kind of evolved, and we started to introduce the businesses as well to create this directory and just be a platform for something for the floral industry as a whole, really. So anything floral related, you can go there and find what you're looking for, whether you're a couple looking for your wedding florist, or if you're someone looking for a workshop, or if you're looking for freelancers, like our florists do go on and look for their freelancers. So it's just this all-encompassed platform now for our industry. So that was kind of our vision behind it.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. And I think it's been so needed in the industry. So when I found you, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to ask, get Merrin on and talk to you about how that came about and why. So thank you for sharing that, because it's so often we find ourselves, especially as business women, just maybe having a whinge and a moan about how things are, but not seeing that we have the power to actually create the solution ourselves, and then creating that solution for others as well. So it's fantastic. And I've since then I've shared you all with our members and within our network, because I've got florists just coming into the industry who are really wanting to freelance. Yes, they might be wanting to start their wedding and events business themselves, and it's just in that starting process. But part of my recommendations to them always is to freelance and get get those skills built up by learning from so many different people, because everybody runs a wedding and event so differently in our industry.
Totally.
Why? I guess because it's a creative industry, so everyone has a different way of the logistics of how they physically put something together, but also in the way that they price, the way that they freelance, the way that they bring in staff, all of those things. So that's
why, just on that's why we wanted to make it multifaceted, as well as so a lot of people have their wedding and events businesses, but they also do freelancing. So when you sign up, you're able to tick that I'm available for freelancing and weddings and events, and if I do workshops and online delivery. So you can say everything you're available for. So you're really open to all types of jobs coming in. So it's not just booking in a wedding, it's getting that freelancing job for the weekend that you're free. So it's just, that was kind of the idea behind it, so that everyone has work, because there's enough work for everybody. And that's really what it was about, to take kind of the competition out of everything and just make it like a level playing field for everyone. So
and really it feels like it's really community based, which I think is so refreshing for us as an industry, because it can be quite segregated at times for different reasons. That's another discussion for another day, but it's often so hard for someone coming into the industry to find work. And because our industry is so diverse now, you know, a retail bricks and mortar isn't the only way that we function as florists now. Like with this,
100%.
you might be working in a warehouse, you might be only doing corporates, you might be only doing funeral work, whatever. So I think coming into the industry, it becomes so daunting, you know, to be able to just like, can I just put my hand up and come and help you? You know, it's like, great.
And you can feel alone.
Like a job board.
Yeah, because a lot of us are all working from our home studios or solo in wherever, it can feel so lonely. And it's nice to have the people around that you can support on. Like, we get DMs all the time asking questions, and I love it. Like, I wish I had this when I first started. It would have been awesome to have.
Absolutely.
Just something to fall back on and know that they're there, that you can go and chat to. So
and as a business owner, you know, like as a business owner, when I had my shop and was looking for staff, where was I going putting an ad in, you know, like, and I never did. I just used to rely on the, you know, the universe always seemed to give me someone floating around in my periphery that would be the right person. But that was just, you know, I guess me being open to what was around me at the time. But I would have loved something like this to be able to jump on and go, hey, you know, and it's managing your cash flow by not needing permanent staff. It's all the things.
Totally.
So what do you see as your, I guess, big dream goals for Florist Quarter? I'm asking you like,
I know. And it's funny because I ask people this question all the time. It's
now you can't answer it.
I did it to you as well. Right. But I think, look, the goal of community, I feel like we've really achieved that. And I'm so proud and have to pinch myself sometimes. And then I guess as we grow, it's just to be the place that Australians go to find their florists. They know that they're vetted. Like, it's been a big educational thing trying to teach consumers about order gathering, which people outside of the industry don't know about it. They don't know what's happening. And it's just, the Florist Quarter is that safe space so that anyone in Australia can log on, go filter to their suburb or their area, and they know that that is a vetted florist, that they're not going to get stung by an order gatherer, basically. So that's the big goal, to be the place to find the Australian florist, definitely.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's it's huge, and as but it's needed. Like I said, it's like you know, where can you go just to find wedding and event florists in, you know, used to be in a magazine that then, you know, people's businesses change and it's not current, and you can't really.
Yeah, even like, you know, just if I'm out with friends, they're like, oh, who can I use to send flowers in this area? And sometimes I don't know. So that means consumers don't know either. So, you know, it's providing that safe space online. I think that we desperately needed. We needed it in our industry for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and it just again promotes that sense of knowing who you're buying from, supporting the florist directly, all of those things.
And local florists.
I had a friend that ordered from Bloomex up north, and I think she was even on the Current Affair recent you know about it. And you know, I said to Amy, God, you're like one of my closest friends. Why didn't you ask me to get flowers? I would like so tell you to look up a florist up there. And she's like, I didn't even think. I just Googled it, you know, and this is someone who knows a florist. Like, can you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So it's just,
and how many people don't know florists? Yeah, and how many people don't order flowers all the time? They just, it's an education thing, but it's just not at the forefront of people's minds, and they just don't know about it. So I think it's an important thing to have for sure.
Well, you're well on your way, and I think you've created the platform the structure and the foundation around it that has that capacity to grow. I think it's
and we have the most fabulous florists on there already. Like, I'm so proud of who we have on there. It's just, and it grows every week, and it's just great to see. It's been fully embraced by the florists. It's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so good.
It's so good because they can be a hard audience. After
I know, and that's the thing. I was so nervous to launch it. I was like, are we ready to change something, I don't know, it was nerve-wracking, but it was embraced completely. It was awesome.
So good. And have you got any stories that you'd like to share in regards to how it's been helping? I mean, we've already talked about how it can help the freelancers and people finding jobs, but is there any sort of stories specifically that come to mind in regards to your members?
I guess it's not a specific story, but it's been awesome to see all of the members interacting with each other, and you see them become each other's biggest cheerleaders. It's so great to see. And then you see them all freelancing for each other, and it's just been the nicest network to watch grow. And I think that that's been probably the best part of it, for sure.
And how are they doing that, on an online group, or how have you got an area that they?
Because I'm across everyone's social media and I'm constantly talking to everybody, I see them all going off and working with each other and getting to know each other. And so we don't have a Facebook group. I think that there's probably enough Facebook groups. Maybe one day there will be one, I guess. But I think that for now, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, I think, if that makes sense.
For sure. It is a lot to manage and build, and just another place for people to go, where if they're just organically connecting with each other on their socials, then it's not necessarily within Florist Quarter, but it's because of, I guess.
And I know that people like yourself and Ash from Wildflower Academy and everything have these amazing Facebook group resources, and I feel like you guys are doing such a good job that I don't need to do that.
Yes, it is. I've just got another live tomorrow, and so our monthly lives, it's like, okay, like we've got, there's so much that we do within our memberships and within our groups that are specifically for, for our members. So in regards to I guess your structure, or tell us a little bit about how someone would become a member. Is there a pricing structure? Is there a as like the brand new florist coming in wanting to freelance, as opposed to the business that wants to use your platform almost as a promotion? Like, how does that all work?
So the jobs board, first and foremost, is available to everybody. If you stay on top of that, you don't have to pay anything to access that. That is purely, we want everyone to get jobs. Like, that's not behind a firewall or anything like that. So you can go onto the jobs board at any time and contact the florists that have posted their jobs. That doesn't require anything. If you are wanting a directory presence, we have 3 pricing tiers. And it's we call it the essential one, so that's the most basic, and that's $99 a year. There's the premium. That actually, one of the big step ups in that listing is that you get unlimited job ads for the year. So if you know you're going to be looking for freelancers, I highly suggest going with that tier, because that's just an awesome resource to have under your belt. And then the top tier is what we call our featured. So that includes a newsletter feature and a blog article and stuff like that. So there's the 3 tiers. They're billed annually, and they all have different benefits for what you might be needing. I would suggest for freelancers, if you don't want to pay anything, that's totally fine. You can just hop on the jobs board and stay on top of that with who's posting that. Or I would suggest going with the essential listing, because when someone goes on and filters the directory to freelancer, that will pop you right to the top of the list. So
okay. So it becomes it allows you to be found more easily, rather than
your prioritized,
rather than you searching.
That's correct.
You're either searching or you are found, which are
absolutely
okay.
Totally.
And then within the website, obviously you mentioned that you do a blog, and which I was very honoured to be recently featured on. So thank you.
We loved having you. Thank you.
So is that a monthly thing, or what's your vision, I guess, for the blog? Is obviously to profile your
totally
called it, your premium members.
Yeah. The featured members, yeah. But it's not just restricted to that. Obviously, anything that we think is industry related that needs to be talked about, you don't even have to be a member. If you have something to talk about and you want to submit it, absolutely go for it. We're all for submissions coming in. If you have a wedding that you are so proud of, send it in to us with the images and that, and we're happy to profile it. Yeah, so it's not specific to just our members, but obviously our members do get prioritized for a lot of things as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. That's a really a lovely way to showcase people's work and get some, even potentially some media exposure by having something like that out there in the world,
totally.
buried in their phone or on their own social media or their webpage.
Exactly.
So lastly, I guess, is there anything that you'd love to talk about in regards to industry, anything that you see that's changing? Just to comment on the industry as a whole, I guess, because you've been in it now, quite a long time.
Been a long time, yeah. Don't count the years, yeah.
Well, don't count mine, so I don't put that. It's like I've still got a 19 something in front of me, but no, 2009. That's a long time to be in the industry for someone so young. So
totally, Well, 35. Am I that young? Yeah, I'll take it, definitely. I think that I'm stoked with the way the industry is moving. It feels like there is a lot more support, like we talked about, and not just from myself, but it's from people like yourself, and like there's so many other initiatives happening where I think in the beginning when I started, it felt like there was a lot more gatekeeping, there was less knowledge sharing, and I feel like that's really changing now. Everyone is, I always use the hashtag community over competition, and it's just, I feel like it encompasses, it just really feels like we're moving towards this more supportive industry, which I feel like was lacking in previous years, I think. Yeah,
I agree. And I also feel like it's becoming more innovative.
Yes.
Oh, so it's becoming more green, which is very happy for me. It makes me very happy. But it's expanding, and I feel like it did feel stuck there for a little bit, for it just in my opinion. I don't know, it just is. And it's just refreshing to see, just, I don't know, new designs coming through, and just a sense of innovation. Innovation's really the word. It's just expensive expansion, innovation for the industry, and I think that's overall amazing. There's so much more awareness for supporting local and less chemical flowers, and all of those things that I think are going to make us a much more healthy industry all round. But it's also exciting to be a part of, because I feel like there's so many new ways that we can work within the industry now. When I first started it, you had a bricks and mortar shop, and that was it. There was like nothing else.
Which is like isolating in yourself, isn't it? I mean, you see everyone at market, obviously, but it's not.
That was it. One day a week.
Such a small snippet of time.
Yeah, and there was benefits in that. Like, I look back and I think, without any social media, like, there was no online presence, and none of that. Really did allow you to stay blinkers on, very focused on your own style. I mean, I started my shop very, very differently to what else was out there. It was completely like so different from where I'd worked in the past, and I was very non-traditional. And I think not having those other influences did really allow me just to stay in my lane. And what I see, I guess, from new florists coming in or new businesses starting, is they can get this real sense of overwhelm right at the very start, because they might have a vision, but as soon as they start looking at all the things and getting fed all the information, it gets so noisy, you tend to lose your own creative self and your own creative voice. And I think then that becomes a business that's not aligned, because it's too busy doing what you think everyone else should be doing. And I've fallen into that trap, you know, many different times throughout my own career as well.
Totally. Yeah, of course.
So I think that's as much as it's so lovely for the connection and to see everything that's going on and feeling like you're not so isolated and small. I think there is, that's the challenge that I see sometimes for your own creative to stand out amongst all, you know, and I think some florists are doing that really, really well, and it's brave. Yeah. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Yeah. It's hard to do. I mean, business is tricky. It's like, it's always a learning curve. So you keep learning forever, as I'm sure you know. So
exactly. I totally get it. And then you've got to love learning. I think you've got to really embrace it. Absolutely. Whether it's design or, you know, the latest technology that you need to implement into your business, or, you know, I'm the same. I'm constantly learning. I like to learn. It gets you, I mean, it's a little bit uncomfortable at times because whenever you're growing, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good sometimes because you're because you're not in your little safe bubble. Yeah, that's right. So I think people think that, we've got to grow and all of this and think it's great, but you've got to be prepared for it to feel a little bit sticky along the way. And you would know that.
Going from weddings, which I feel like I can do with my eyes closed, like you know it so well, and then moving into this space, which is completely new, it has been sticky. I think like you just have to keep learning. You have to keep learning. And I'm doing a uni degree on the side as well. So I feel like I'm constantly, filling my brain with as much stuff as I can. But it's good. It keeps you on your toes. Definitely.
Yeah. And it's just like, take me back to the flowers. I just want to like come over there and play because I feel safe over there. It's like
totally. It's so true. But you know.
Well, that's so good. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to share about the Florist Quarter, or how long has it been in business for? Actually, when did you start?
So I began. So I'm in Sydney, and I began building it in June of 2021, and we launched in February of 2022. So it's been
so
live for a little over a year. Yeah, it's a baby, and it's doing great. I'm loving it. But it's still a baby for sure. We're just, growing organically, I think, and that's the way I wanted to do it. So I think it's perfect.
Yeah. You can mitigate the issues that you have along the way so much easier when it's just growing slowly. You can give the level of service and, professionalism that you need when it's a smaller, and
that's honestly what I love about it, is that it's so one-on-one with everybody. So I feel like I've gotten to know everyone that's come on board, and it feels very genuine, I think, for lack of a better word. And it's been great for building these networks and these relationships, which has been awesome.
So good. So I will put I'll put your details and how people can get in touch, but if you wanted to share here how they can get in touch with you and reach out.
You can hop onto the Florist Quarter at any time. It's floristquarter.com.au, and I would love to offer your members a discount as well, which I can pass on to you, and you can pop in the details at the bottom. If they want to come on board, and we would love to have them for sure.
That's so generous of you. Thank you, Merrin. That's fantastic.
My pleasure.
And on Instagram, the Florist Quarter on Instagram.
Yes, just the Florist Quarter.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, keep it simple.
Simplicity was one of my words this year. I don't know if I've always stuck to it, to be honest, but I've been trying really hard.
You can aim for it, that's all.
I tell you. Creative mind, it just adds other stuff on all the time. And it's like, no.
I think so.
Anyway, so lovely to chat. Really looking forward to connecting with your members in there inside too, in some different capacities along the way. But thank you so much for your time today. Love what you're doing. Love that you just got in and fixed the problem. That's you didn't know what it entailed. You didn't worry about the how. You just knew that it needed to be done. And I think it's that's an entrepreneurial brain, right? That's the brain that just thinks, I'll work it out on the way, you know, I'll just find my wings on the way down. But it's so yeah,
couple of mental breakdowns along the way.
Yeah, I get it. Sometimes you're in the corner.
But we get it. We're here. It's great.
Wondering why you did all this thing and all that. But yeah, congratulations, because it's a big thing to undertake, and it's creating such a positive impact in the industry. So well done.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's awesome.